Hey, Makespace. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. And thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out ways to get this channel going. It's a process. I've started episode 2. I'm pretty happy with the intro so far. But we need to get started on the building. And it's kind of like, you know, perfect timing. Figured we'll get a stream in and see if I can do what I want to do. I want to indicate the quarry that was carved in order to build the statues. So we're going to be doing indications of that quarry on this side and on this side over here as well. I'm not quite sure how far down I'll go, but I have this idea for... like, it's not going to look like your typical quarry. I'm going to design it to look kind of like it's carved to be a quarry, but it's also designed so that it contributes to the design of the statue. So, like, it's all pointing up towards the statue, more or less. I'm curious how I'm going to do this. I have, like, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do... oh, hey. My cat's chirping. I have this idea of making, get him out of here. I have this idea to, like, you know, for this area will be easy. And where it's steep will be easy. But where these, where it's like flat like this, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. Later on, we're also going to build a small bastion down here. And, yeah, we're just going to be slowly making our way down the road. Oh, and also we're going to be making a temple right here. I mean, you're fully capable of joining my Discord there, Gracio, if that's what you would like. But I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm planning on building a temple up here. It's going to be a rather unique design. I have this idea where it's kind of like sweep up towards this peak here. And it's going to have a pillared portico going around, and then you're going to have the inner sanctum, more or less, where the priest would be. And this is like the main stairs up. We're going to modify this to be something a little bit more interesting, and then it's going to go into the portico, and then you know, this is where the pilgrims would be around the outside, and then the inside would be more like living chambers and kind of like, I don't know, something that relates towards Heralia. I haven't quite decided how I want to go about doing that yet. Hey Madzy, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. But anyways, I feel like if we're going to get anything done, we should probably get started now. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording. All right, let's do this. I think the best thing to do is probably start from the top. Maybe it would be best to grab... let's grab a an axe. We'll do iron pickaxe. And we're going to do brush cube air 2. And let's see. Wait, I thought cube was a isn't cube? What other brushes are there? Brush, I know there's cylinder. There's brush, sphere, cone? No. Isn't there a cube? A cube brush? Brush, box? No. Interesting. Brush something. Showed one of my friends your video. He told me you are one of the best builders he has ever seen. Well, Makespace, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, that's the only way that we're gonna get any success here. I don't algorithm hunt. I'm never gonna really do that. You know, I really feel bad for people that they design their whole channel and the way they do things around their algorithm, and I refuse to do that. The only thing I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to make videos, and it's all up to you guys, really, at that point. So it seems like there was a good reaction with the latest episode, so I'm very hopeful for episode 2. But in order for us to get episode 2, we have to actually do something. So anyway, brush sphere 2. Air. What am I doing wrong? I feel like I'm See, this is not what I wanted, but it'll work. We're gonna decimate this landscape more or less. Well, I want to build a quarry. I want to kind of like carve away the mountainside to where it looks like that's where they got the stone for the statue up there. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm kind of like gonna dig these steps out, and then I'm gonna design like little triangular shapes all the way along, so that way it's gonna look like a pattern. And that pattern, when you step back and look at it, is going to look kind of like, I don't know. I kind of imagine like what I'm thinking about doing. And in my head, it looks really cool. So we'll see. This is experimental territory. See, again, I don't run off of inspiration. Like, I'm just running off of ideas that I have kind of floating around. But I kind of want to design... I want to design shapes and things into this. And then here we're going to have like a little pool of water. Kind of like, you know, you would expect at a quarry. There we go. So I think we'll probably be able to do one more. We're not going to do any cranes or anything. The idea is that this quarry it's exhausted. You know, they got everything they needed. They mined everything they needed for the statue, and that's all they needed from here. Yeah, this is actually going to be a pretty jam-packed episode. We're going to be building the temple here. We're going to be building this quarry all along the mountainside. We're going to be building a holdfast right there. We're going to be building like a rock house. It's going to be like a boulder that fell down the mountain, and we're going to build a house into it. And then we're also going to build a manor with a bunch of farms around it over there. So that's going to be the kind of like the end of the episode over there. So I really got to like push hard. The texturing done on the statue is absolutely... Oh, well, thank you, Madsy. I appreciate that. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure at first. I wasn't going to go with a natural kind of tones at first. I was going to maybe go for just like more of a flat tone with some weathering. But I just felt that having natural tones works better for my environment. Again, you know, if we were going to go realistic, we would obviously just do natural tones with weathering. But, you know, since when have I built realistic? It's going to be a temple to Heralia. It's going to be something you haven't seen before. I have this idea of what I want to do, and it's going to look really strange. Honestly, it's going to look kind of like a dark elven temple. But I want to make it look like not evil, so I have ideas to make that work. But it's going to be made out of blue schist to match the rock type that we are in. This, you know, obviously this is all blue schist here with a little bit of granite and some porous andesite and whatnot. But yeah, so I have this idea, and I don't run off of any inspiration, so I don't have anything to show you to say, hey, it's gonna look like that. But Evil Anno, good to see you. Welcome. No. I literally just started. Basically, I got everything squared away for the first episode. Saturday. Sunday, I more or less was developing the YouTube short, which is going to release this Sunday. This coming Sunday will be a YouTube short of episode 1. And then Monday was developing script for this video. And then I started recording and getting the voice and everything ready last night. And now today we are actually doing some of the building. So we have a lot of we got a lot of good things coming for this episode. As long as I can achieve my goals, I know I can do this, what I'm doing right now. I know I can do the holdfast, and I know I can do the boulder house. But when we get to the manor, that's going to be a tough one. It's going to be larger than the farmstead that we just built. It's going to be pretty fantasy as well. So that's going to be in itself a challenge, because I got to kind of develop designs and come up with something that actually looks halfway decent. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, the manor down there is going to be lore-wise the kind of like the beginning of the Duconian Empire. It's going to be where when the first settlers came, they they settled around, they joined the local factions and everything, and then there was this one individual who built the manor, and then from there the empire kind of started, and he gained the support of other local lords and jarls, and just people from all across the world came to join. And then slowly but surely the Duconian Empire formed, and they started they combined their bannermen, and long story short, that's where the Duconian Empire kind of started. So I'm gonna have to also kind of develop that into the script writing of the video. Get into there would be kind of hard. Yeah. Good luck with that. My head does not exactly have a way of displaying these images that I imagine. But the idea is that I'll be able to get them out in 3D form eventually. So my brother and I, we went out and went out together today, and we went to the store. It's called basically it's a store that has like a whole bunch of local what do you call them? Like little it's like this huge store, but it has like 100 different places where local vendors have set up their not stores, just a place to buy their stuff. They display their stuff there, right? It was really neat. Like I don't know what it is about stuff like that just, it's so fascinating when there is a place that is just displaying a whole bunch of local handcrafted things. It is so cool. Oh, absolutely, Evil. Absolutely. We're going to be doing megalithic stuff throughout this world. I have 7 more statues that are going to be like that throughout the world. I know at least like two are going to be. I've already have a design kind of in my head how I'm going to do them. But I have Bentus the Merchant. I have Xanthos, the Lord Protector. I have Laris, the Maiden. Uduna the Shadow, Otar the Warrior, Victorum the Kraken, Shorterfis the Reaper. I feel like I'm forgetting 1 or 2 of them, but all of them are going to have giant statues like that. but they're all going to be unique. They're not going to, like, you know, they're not just going to be like, for example, that's like a woman, like an angel. Xanthos is going to be basically gold-plated, sitting on a throne with a enormous sword. And I might even put a shield in his, like, he's going to be sitting forward on a, it's basically, I'm going to dig this massive box into a mountainside. And I'm going to design the box to be a carved throne. And then he's going to be sitting forward in the throne. He's going to have all of this gold armor on. And he's going to, like, his sword is going to be kind of out in front of him. He's going to be leaning his hand on it, like resting his hand on it on the hilt. And it's going to be thrust into the ground. And I think with his other hand, I might just rest on the throne. But I was also thinking about putting a giant shield there, kind of like sideways. And then like putting a big X in it to kind of represent his name. I'm not 100% on the shield yet, though. I know I want to do the sword, but I feel like the shield would become a little too cluttered. I don't exactly have a plan for the Kraken yet. It'll be obviously sea-related and most likely look like a Kraken of sorts. If I can figure out how to design it. Because it needs to be near the sea, number one. And I don't want it to look like a sea monster. It needs to look like a statue. So I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, it's not going to be a human for the Kraken. Same thing with Shorefish. Shorefish is going to be kind of like this four-armed, I don't know, strange-looking thing. I kind of have a description of them, but it'd be hard to really explain. Kind of like an Egyptian god, if you kind of understand what I don't know, like an I guess something like Anubis. I think I recall seeing descriptions of Anubis that, you know, except he's going to have 4 arms. Anyways, yeah. And like one arm, like 2 of the arms are going to be holding a, it's going to look like a reaper. Like, what do you call those things? The things that, a scythe. Yeah, it's going to be holding a scythe in one hand. And then I haven't quite decided what his other hands are going to hold. I don't know. I just know I'm excited, and also I want his armor to have glint. So I was thinking about using yellow glass for his armor to basically, like, when you're flying past, it'll glint like in the sunlight. Because like shaders, they don't glint to, like, say a gold block, but they do glint to transparent blocks. And so what I'll use is gold blocks, right? But then I'll use a mixture of some of the glass to get that little bit of a glint in there. I think that'll look really cool. Well, 8. There's 8. Yeah, this is Heralia, and then there's 7 others, so 8 in total. But I'm super excited. Like, this has been something I've been wanting to do for so long, and I'm just so glad that I'm able to finally do this, number one, and number two, be able to share it with you guys in this way, because it's honestly a lot of fun. The big thing for me is to be able to help inspire fantasy back into the Conquest community, like strong fantasy style. Hopefully we'll start seeing some really cool fantasy builds in the future. But also to be able to develop this lore, because, you know, I've been developing this lore for a long time. And it's kind of designed around a world that is not necessarily Yarrowin. My original world plan was to have Abathon and Arnon. And Abathon was supposed to be the Imperial continent, and then Arnon was supposed to be the continent that the Imperials were in the middle of conquering. They're sending these enormous battle arcs, which are these like gigantic. They look like steamships, but they're not like steam powered. They look like they're basically giant wooden ships that have these paddle wheels in them. But the paddle wheels are powered by like mules inside the ship, and these giant turntables that are basically propelling the ship forward. Obviously, they have enormous sails and everything. And so, I don't know. We might build one of them in this world. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. And I know I'm just a builder. I don't do anything other than build, so this is all I do. Oh, Catherine, good to see you. Welcome. Good to see you. Let's see. Yeah, right. Sounds good to me. Any plans on having the remains of paint on them, like those ancient marble statues? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not much for weathering. I really don't like. I can't say I don't like. I don't do weathering much in my builds. I like to build everything that I build, at least for the most part. Like especially if it's grand, I like to build it in its prime. It's hard to find prime builds anymore. And it's like most larger builds are I don't know, kind of like just weathered, very weathered and dilapidated. That's just the way I am. I like to build things in their prime. That's all there is to it. And it's just me. It's just what I like to do. Just feel like it gives you more chance to put life into it. That's kind of like one of my big building styles is, you know, when it's at its fullest part of its existence. I'm doing good. And by the way, guys, my son is here today. Say hello, Andrew.
Hello.
He's here joining us for today's stream. But yeah, one of these days, maybe we'll get him on here, and he'll be building some magnificent creations in the future. Little Dukan. Well, we have what do you call it? We have named him DrewCon in the past. At least that's the name that Django has given him. Hydrate. Thank you, Evil. I appreciate that. Dukan the Younger. You'll get. Oh, another thing. I want to explain this to you all. I have channel point redemptions. I just added a few. In fact, I need to look at them so that I can remember them. So I have push-ups, hydrate, quick stretch, username time capsule, the voice. Honestly, I don't know. I'll probably remove the voice. Become a vagabond, which means I'll build you like a little camp or something. And then become a legend. I'll build a monument. So Make Space was the only one that's ever going to get a channel point redemption for a monument that was that cheap. That was only 15,000. So now it's up to 35,000. So that'll be a more of a rare thing to happen. So Make Space, you got lucky there. But yeah, after I had streamed Make Space, there apparently was quite a few other people that had 15,000 channel points to spend, and I was like, this is dangerous. This is very dangerous. Because then like everybody can redeem, and then all of a sudden I gotta build monuments everywhere. Yeah, and we don't want that. At least I don't want that. I'm sorry. It's just there's only so much I can do. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can do this design I'm kind of thinking about. We're gonna layer it all too. It's gonna be its own thing to try to layer all this. So wish me luck. And then there's gonna be like these big cracks in between each. And then we gotta build the next one right here. Obviously, this is all going to be layered and everything, so it's gonna look a lot different. Actually, we're gonna remove that. Hey, Spearman, good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, I just noticed something. My viewer count. Why is... There it is. Why is that? Interesting. Viewer count. Chat. Yeah, what's going on with that? Feel like everything reset. Why is that? my following indications overlay. Overlay's fine. Indications. There we go. Okay, I think everything's back on now. Whoopsie. There we go. You'll have someday 35K. All right. But yeah, that was kind of funny. But no, I'm glad. I'm really glad that you did that, MakeSpace. You were the first one to ever redeem that particular redemption, and honestly, I'm really glad you did. You know, that to me is a really cool opportunity to do something for you guys. These channel point redemptions are a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm just glad. I'm glad you did that. Oh, this is going to be fun. I don't know. I guess that's fine. We could do that. And then there's that. And then we're going to have like spaces in between and stuff like that. It's all, like I said, it's all going to be layered. It's all going to make more sense as we go. Like right now it looks terrible, but let me cook. Is our points the number by the comment bar? I think so. Yeah, like it's kind of like that little triangular thing with the, and then there's one with like infinity next to it. I don't know. But yeah, it should tell you how many points you have down below. I'm not quite sure how all that works. I'm just saying you all have some channel points if you want to use them. And give me an opportunity to say thank you for being awesome. You have 30K. Oh boy. Well, I guess that means we need to build you a monument then if you redeem, that is. We'd have to figure out a place to redeem. Just 10, and it's only going to be 2 times per stream. Got 66.4. Okay, well, in that case, I guess we're going to have to up that. Man, you guys are making this impossible. You guys are going to make me have to up that to like 100,000 or something. Lots of monuments. Oh, yikes. But yeah, the thing is like I'm not going to build it immediately. I'll do the same thing like I did for MakeSpace. I'll basically write it down, and then when I get to the point in an episode where I can build it, I'll build this. I'll build whatever it is that I'm going to build for you, and then we'll go from there. And I'll definitely, obviously, mention you in the episode. But I live to my magpie named, and I hoard. Well, you know, you do with your channel points what you want to do with your channel points. That's all there is to it. Oopsie. I'm just going to make everything, like these triangles, the same texture, just so that I have a better understanding of what we're working with. Because I'm still not sure if my idea is going to work out, but I don't know. I feel like there's potential here. We'll see. Just 8K left. Yeah, I'm completely cool with that, honestly. That sounds like a fun little challenge. And I kind of like the idea of letting you guys pick what kind of monument you want me to try to build. I mean, don't give me an image or anything. Like, I'll build my own kind of rendition of whatever the subject matter is. But, yeah, I do like the idea of you guys kind of choosing what you would like me to honor you with. The Deep Hall Sloop. Nice. Yeah, that looks pretty decent, I think. I think we need to move this one over a little bit to about there. There we go. And then we need to take you up. All right. Beautiful. See, the main thing behind what I'm trying to do here is just make the quarry look like it's kind of built towards the religious nature of the subject matter. You know, that's kind of the whole point here, is I just want it to look like it's supposed to be here and not just a quarry. You know, quarry is one thing, but if you make the quarry actually feel part of the build, it'll make it look less artificial and more like it's complementing the statue versus just there. I mean, just imagine this entire mountain is designed to look like a temple, more or less. That's kind of what I'm trying to go for here. Oh, absolutely, Smog. Absolutely. Now, the thing is I'm not going to build a giant dragon like as big as that. It'll be about the size of the sword that I made from MakeSpace, but just like, you know, organic, and I would try to design it in a way that actually looks halfway neat. So, but I think that's a great idea. I would be very interested in building a dragon. That sounds fun. And honestly, I think that's really one of the main things that'll be a, because, I mean, yeah, the farmstead was neat, but it wasn't as neat as, you know, for example, the statue, or the gateway, for example. Organics is something that's kind of hard to find in the Conquest community. It's kind of taboo, more or less. So when organics are done, and honestly, you know, I never really considered myself a very good organic artist. So this is all like a new thing for me. So, I mean, I am treading on soil that I've never practiced on. But, you know, we're practicing now. And, you know, it's not a terrible statue, at least. Hey, Meso, good to see you. Welcome. A 12-gunner. 6-gun broadside. Nice. Yeah, I love your ships. They're, Spear. You make some great ships. I can't wait to get to ships. I'm going to be making some, rather unusual looking ships. My idea for ships is, yeah, not realistic. is where we'll leave that for now. Something more fantastical and just, yeah, and not cannons. I don't do cannons. Yeah, we're on the age of magical weapons and trebuchets and ballistas. That's kind of the lore of this world. No. This would have been long ago when they built this. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just building the stone structure. And then the quarry itself is going to be abandoned, more or less. And I might even try to design it so that it looks like it's, I don't know, maybe somehow kind of like religious significance. So like, you know, like pilgrims can walk along these paths, and then like, I don't know, there's like readings or something that you can do. I actually haven't updated yet. I've been seeing a lot of bug reports, and yeah, bug reports scare me, especially when I'm on a single player world. So I'm gonna wait for the bugs to work themselves out, and then I'll give it a try. But it looks really neat. I've seen kind of like the new trees. The pottery looks really cool. Can definitely use that. Yeah, there's a lot of neat things. Also, I really like how they did that video. That's been like that has been desperately needed in the Conquest community. I used to try to make update videos in the past, like back in 1.7.10 and stuff, and it just, yeah, it gets to be a bit much, especially when you're trying to balance the channel and everything. So I'm glad that the Conquest, the Reforged team is finally doing that for themselves. No canon, so everything is canon? Just love the 17th century sail ships. But high chance I will make ballistas and trebuchets. Nice. What if when they quarried, they uncovered a hidden chamber? That's a neat idea. So, let's talk about that, Iceake. So, they uncovered a hidden chamber. What would you think would be a good idea to find in this hidden chamber? Do you think that it would have anything, I don't know, magical? Would it be more just like a dragon cave, maybe? What do you think? Heart of the Mountain. That's a possibility. Although I feel like that can be relatively... So, I would prefer ideas that are not... Well, I mean, I guess there's no way of doing this. I like ideas that are not necessarily expected. So if we can figure out something to put in that cave that is something unexpected. Who made the portal? The portal? The portal was grown. That formed. That was a natural formation. Smoke comes and sits on the treasure. Yeah. Could be just a normal chamber. Then we found a pilgrim who prayed in there. A vision from God, and then they get turned into a shrine. Interesting. You know, that's another thing I would really like to do is a large chamber with a skylight. So like basically the beginnings of a sinkhole. And in the middle, kind of like a pile of gravel. And then like a little statue on top of that gravel. Like, I don't know. I just like that idea. Or like maybe even like a little sword in the top. Just something to make it feel kind of like fantastical. I've seen pictures that kind of represent that theme, and I've always really liked that kind of like atmosphere. Yeah, and I want to make all of the triangular formations look different. I don't want anything looking static or the same. Also, I made a mistake. These need to be off-centered. So, like, the next one needs to be here. So we need to remove this. We need to restart. And then the next one needs to start there. There we go. Made their home in. Interesting. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea there, Catherine. I like that. A natural crevice that some random traveler made their home in. That's a neat idea. I mean, although this area, I don't think that makes a lot of sense because this is a rather traveled area, because being kind of like the shrine of the world in honor of Heralia, there's going to be some traffic here. So maybe not here, but somewhere else that would really be kind of cool. Just to be kind of like, oh, there's like a little crack over there, and you go over and look at the fissure. We'll say it that way. You see the fissure, and you're like, you go explore, and then yeah, there's a little like camp or a home in the fissure. That's a neat idea. I approve of this idea. Yeah, and we're gonna just keep off-centering it. It's gonna be, yeah, I'm super stoked for this. Although, and I'm not quite sure what to do here. I think what we're gonna do is we'll just kind of do this to there, and then we'll bring it back down like that, and then we're gonna put another one right here. There we go. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit different. So, like, basically, when you're down there, I want it to look like a... You know how cathedrals, when you look at cathedral, it's so ornate, and it's just full of detail, and there's all these, like, different shapes and things? I want the whole mountain to have a resemblance to that. So, that's kind of what I'm trying to demonstrate here. Hopefully I'll be able to kind of bring that to life. I'm being very hopeful with this, so we'll see. We'll see. I think we're going to go ahead and just lop off this area here. There we go. That needs to be steeper here. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with this flatter section here. I am not quite sure what to do with that. But we can do, for example, like right here. And then this one can kind of come around here. Yeah, there's a lot of potential with this. Oh yeah, and then we're also going to do this here as well. Let's go ahead and knock this away. I'm just gonna knock it back one block so that way at least we have a little bit more room to walk along. So something like that. And then, I don't know, maybe we should go back even further. And we need to indicate that this is a quarried area as well. There we go. And so we'll go ahead and use... Let's go ahead and just make this up into a flat face. That way we have something to work with. The layering of all of this is going to be the most laborious part of this. So you guys are going to have to wish me luck on that one. So yeah, this is going to kind of go up to here. And then... it's going to kind of do something like that. And I want to keep it off-centered more or less. But that should give me the look I'm looking for. We'll see in a second here. There we go. And I think what we're going to do here is we're going to make this into a multi-tiered. So we're going to knock this away right there. And then we're going to make a tier up here. So we're going to flatten this out. And we're going to have to replace some of this snow as well later on. Let's see. We're recording. Good. But it's going to look like a cathedral, more or less. Like, I don't know, not a cathedral, a temple. It'll look different. And I also want to try to maybe like build like on the top of each of these points. Maybe what I'll do is I'll build some sort of like stone feature that looks like a finial. So there's like all these spikes up here. Oh, some ancient culture scrolls. That's a neat idea too. All right, and then we'll go up a little further. All right, and then that'll come back down to here. And then we're going to start the next one. We'll kind of wrap around the corner here. So there's that. Come up more. Up more. There we go. And we're going to have to do a lot of texturing with all this. But it's going to look good. And then we need to do one of these right here as well. There we go. So I do want to be careful though. Yes, I want to do these really cool ideas, but maybe not for this. I'm already crushed to be able to get this episode done. So I'm going to definitely put that idea. So, okay, here's this. Isaac, I don't know if you're in my Discord or not, but if you are, would you be willing to go over into the announcement area? There is a lore document that I have posted there. You are able to make comments on that document. Or not a lore, a world detail document. If you are able, or one of you are able to go over there, and if you have ideas for specific things that you think would be a great idea for this world, because I'm going to be definitely looking for unique ideas, please go to that document, comment your idea, and then I'll go over it eventually. I'll look at those comments, and then I'll officially add it into the doc as a unique idea that we can utilize. Because, you know, I really like that thought. But yeah, for this episode, I'm already running myself ragged with the amount of things that I'm going to be trying to do for this. Like between this quarry, the manor that I'm going to be doing. Yeah, it's all a lot. It's a lot. But I think I can do it. If I see, and I'm also going to be doing a video this month. I'm going to be doing another Artcraft plot showcase. I got the okay from a builder that I think you guys will really enjoy seeing what he's been doing. And then after that, I have another YouTube short. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do that YouTube short on. I was thinking about doing it on Artcraft, but I don't have the rig to be able to handle. I want to make a YouTube short of Lorien, but I just don't see it working. My computer is not the greatest, and yeah, going through Lorien with shaders is practically impossible for me, unless if I have the replay mod. And yeah, anyways, long story short, I just don't think that's going to work out. So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do for that. So if any of you, actually here, how about this? If any of you have a really cool build that you would like to have on a YouTube short, let me know. Well, DM me, and then I'll see if I can get a short done for your build. And that'll be 3 weeks. 3 weeks from now. 3 weeks from Sunday. So yeah, Sunday short. Next Sunday, the Sunday after is gonna be 3 Sundays from now. An ancient civilization. I actually do not have any plans for an ancient civilization. I do plan on doing megalithic structures and things. So there will be indications of an ancient civilization. And I will do ruins throughout the world, but I don't exactly have lore yet for an ancient civilization. It's something I never really got around to. Like, you know, I said this before and I'll say it again. My building preference is building things in their prime versus building ruins. But I do see that it could be, like, for example, like, I don't know. I just feel like building things in their prime is just a better way of representing a build. Cave paintings. And tombs start that. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, that's looking pretty decent. We're getting there, guys. Let's go ahead and knock this out. We also need to get that little pool down there started. But yeah, I need to get this quarry done. Let's see. I need to get this quarry done by Sunday. Oh, no. I see. I got some personal projects I need to work on too at my house. I think I'll be able to do this. Because then that leaves the whole, or then I got to work on the video. The video is going to take me till probably Wednesday, probably Thursday of next week. And then I have Friday and Saturday and Saturday. Oh, Saturday's going to be. So I got to do the hold fast. And then I got to do the manor. We'll see. Basically, I'm the type where I set a goal and I have to fit that goal. I have to meet that goal. Like, and I know exactly what I need to do in order to meet that goal. Like, for example, for last episode, I told you exactly what I needed to do. I needed to get that statue done on Saturday, and I needed to get, you know, the rest I needed to get done, or Friday. That was Friday. And I needed to get the rest I needed to get done on Saturday. And, well, I got it done. So then I was able to say, hey, guys, check it out. It's a done statue. Honestly, I surprised myself on that one. I didn't think I could do that. That was a long, long day. Well, when I say new, I mean not ruined. So, I mean, if we want to go that route, then yes, the Duconian Empire is an ancient civilization. Like, I want to treat the Duconians like they're the Numenorians. Yeah, that's kind of the style and the architectural influences that I'm going for here. And I'm not saying that they are the Numenorians. I'm just saying that's kind of like the style. That's the expectation we should be looking towards. Oh yeah, there's gonna definitely be ruins. But not like entire ruined cities and stuff like that. Just like, you know, maybe a ruined house or maybe a ruined temple here and there, depending. Yeah, well maintained. There we go. That's a great way of putting it. well maintained. Because obviously everything depreciates over time. It's just a natural state of life. Everything will depreciate. Everything kind of loses its glimmer through the course of time. Okay, yeah, we're still good. We're still good. Just want to make sure that it's still following. Yeah, there's a lot of potential with this. We just got to make sure that we get all the shadows and highlights correct. Because the idea when you're walking up through here, it's supposed to look like it's supposed to look almost gothic or, I don't know. It's supposed to look artistic. There we go. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I mean, that's the cultures, you know, of modern day. That's what pretty much most ancient cultures did is they... It's funny. They wouldn't even I mean, they would topple over the buildings and kind of like, you know, remove some of the features and things. But for the most part, ancient civilizations just buried. They just... Can you imagine the manpower necessary to bury a city? That's what they used to do. Like, wow. I mean, it's insane. Or like, just like what the Romans did. If they wanted to erase something, they would just topple every single stone. I mean, I guess it's not quite as much work as building something like that, but still, wow. It's just a lot of work. And I almost feel like, you know, a waste of time, but to them, I guess it wasn't a waste of time. It's more of a, you know, punishment for something or another. And that's just interesting how, I don't know, when you guys think of the Roman Empire, do you guys have respect for the Roman Empire and for the achievements they did? Because their achievements are basically all based on conquering and destroying and, you know, basically forcing compliance. So I don't know, it's hard, it's a hard thing to imagine, but like there's two sides to it. Like all of us, I think, are really impressed by the Roman Empire and just how much, like Alexander the Great, Napoleon, what's that Mongols guy's name? Why am I forgetting the Mongol guy? Some Roman generally, probably. It is never a waste of time to be petty. Probably. What was that, what was that guy's name? Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan. Everything is up and downside. Yeah, everything. Life in general. I mean, we're all always gonna have, and just, it's been, yeah, anyways. But don't truly know how much it was truly on top of, got through conquering their neighbors. That was the name, the Mongol guy, yes. But yeah, see, the thing is like we always look at these great conquerors and we call them great, right? Like that's what we think. But then we gotta like really think about it. What was required for them to gain that title? It's insane to think. Like we in our modern society, I don't think we can even fathom the brutality that was required for that level of conquering of the world. I mean, granted, modern day society, there's a whole lot more people alive now than has ever been alive on this earth at one time. You know, what are we at now? 8 billion, something like that. I think during the medieval ages or ancient times, wasn't it in the millions? Does anybody know if there's an estimate of ancient times population? My assumption would be somewhere in the millions, probably the hundreds of millions. It had to be more than tens of millions, right? As well, we just look different towards our own actions compared to ancient ones. Yes. It's, yeah. I mean, this modern society is full of its own brutalities, absolutely. But man, it's insane to see our history, human history, and where we've come, what we've dealt with, what we've seen, and what shaped our cultures, what shaped our world. And I wish it weren't so. I personally, if it were up to me, it'd just be, man. I just wish it could be a utopia, right? Just no weapons, just none. And everybody got along. That's what I wish, but that just doesn't happen. And while we're here on Earth, I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't see it. And I think that's what they're trying to do with AI. They're trying to change humanity with it. So we'll see where that goes. Had a population of roughly 1 million. Was not as tens of millions as most parts. Was not in the tens of millions as most parts of the empire. Wasn't that populated. Small correction. At 11, it was considered the height of the Roman Empire. The population was roughly 60 to 80 million, with some estimating up to 100 million. Very interesting. Okay, so in that period of time, hundreds of millions. Okay. That's actually really neat, Catherine. I'm going to have to bookmark that. I've always been fascinated with history, ancient history, just time periods that are not necessarily commonly... You know, most people, when they think of history, they're thinking of, I don't know, for us Americans, history would be the Civil War, right? You know, that's really nothing. Europe, you're thinking of the Middle Ages, right? That's kind of where you're thinking in terms of history. Or even world wars. I mean, that was a pretty significant affecting part of European history, was the world wars, and scary stuff. So I do love talking about it. Yeah, the Roman Empire was, I mean, its own brutalities, its own issues. I mean, the list goes on. But the feat behind making that happen, like, to be able to organize that type of civilization at that time period. Can you imagine the logistics? Like right now we have like radios, we have satellites, we have ways of sending transmissions and coordinating things to the degree where if you need something done, all you got to do is just send a quick message and then voila, the message is sent and received. Whereas in the Roman Empire, you have a whole legion, or legions, should I say, in another part of the world. And maybe there was a change of diplomacy, and the Roman Empire needs to quickly send a message saying, all right, we've changed our minds, we're going to do it this way. But that legion's already engaged in battle or something, and like just imagine the logistical nightmare behind military and diplomatic relations and just all the things that go on with that. Roman wars were much larger scale than happened before, but just on a larger scale. Yeah, and see, I have no answers. I can't affect the brutalities of modern day wars. I can't do anything. The only thing that I can do, the only thing that you can do, and I feel like it's a domino effect, is just try to show compassion and more or less understanding. I don't know how else to fight what seems like evil other than just showing compassion. The Prince of Persia. That sounds familiar. Is that the one with that giant spiral castle in the sand? If I remember correctly. Even make peace agreements, which then got sent to the Roman for the Senate. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the officials in the military were able to declare these things. Yeah, and that would make a lot more sense. But then again, that could also go the other way. Like, what if the Roman Empire desperately needs peace in that region, but then the legate of that legion's like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and launch a campaign to this territory and conquer everybody. And then, yeah, and then cause issues. And I'm sure that happened many times. Yeah, okay, I remember, yeah, in the Sands of Time, and he could kind of like, what do you call it, backup time and everything. Yeah, really good movie, I liked that. It's been so long since I've watched it, though. Let me think, what have I watched recently? Honestly, I haven't watched all that much. I haven't been doing much cinema lately. I guess the one thing I'm looking forward to is the new Dune that's coming out. Curious how that'll go. I'm not big into the whole, what do you call it? The religious stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not big into that. I don't like all that. But anyways, it's a good movie overall. But all the extra stuff, and I know it's part of the lore, but I'm just not into that kind of style of stuff. But I love the lore behind Dune in general. So yeah, I do have plans actually to build in the desert so basically I'm not gonna do it, but at least put a sign there and a little monument saying I'm gonna build a pyramid city here. So basically the entire city is a pyramid. And so like the lower walls are down here, and the lower section is just full of houses and everything. And then you go up to the next tier, and then the palace would be at the top. So I have an idea to build a city pyramid, but yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna really be planning on building anything large in this series, at least not early on. If I can come up with a way of coordinating, so the whole point of this series is to not get stuck on the same thing episode after episode. The whole point of this series is to get multiple builds done each episode, so that way every time that you come back, it's something fresh, it's something different and new, something that it's for my sanity as well. Nobody likes to be in one area doing one thing all the time. It's not fun. It's just not, really what we're designed to do. We're designed to try new things and experiment and kind of like grow and, push the boundaries more or less. So that's kind of what I want to do with this series. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. It was basically a warning how a charismatic leader can easily use gains towards violence like Paul does with the Freeman. Yes. Basically the story of power. It's always about the story of power. It's always about power. Whoops. All right, so we're going to kind of like dig up this way. And we're going to build it right into the foot of our statue here. And then I also want to build another one coming down as well. We'll see how we're going to do this. I'm not quite sure yet. What do you guys think that I should do here? Because there's no way that I can put a quarry there. It's just kind of like this weird spot. It just, I don't know, just doesn't really work that well for the theme that we're trying to go for. I guess I'll first try. Oh, there's a traveler right there. It's funny, these travelers follow me everywhere. Leave me alone. I don't want it. I need to put up a, what's that called? No soliciting sign. Do like a, oh, that's a good idea. Just put a bunch of snow up there. That's a great idea. Why didn't I think about that? Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll just throw a bunch of snow up there. And then just kind of like, that's another really neat idea. So like, we'll make it look like there's the quarry going all the way around, but then we'll just take this snow and make it look like it's kind of like seeping over and downwards. That would be really neat. That's one of the reasons why I love streaming. You guys, just come up with some neat ideas. Gets my mind moving. Keeps my mind moving. Keeps me thinking. And I love that about... it's like literally one of the best things about doing this. The interaction and developing ideas together. There's some really cool... You're just going to have to trust me there, Anno. Just going to have to trust me on that. There is stuff up there, but it's a little buried. All right, I'm back. Snow Angels. Let's do it. Okay, so are you guys starting to see kind of what I have planned? And I'm planning on doing this all the way around. So basically, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to stop it going into that mountain there. But I'm going to be doing this all the way around. And we'll do something to make it look even more interesting. Obviously, it's not just going to be, the same thing everywhere. I'm going to try to come up with ways to break it up a little bit and make it look a little bit more interesting. But I hope the general idea is starting to take shape. And again, it's the texturing. Like right now, it's all bland. Like I'm sure it's kind of hard to tell. But like once I get that texturing in there, and I put the highlights where the highlights need to be, and I put the shadows where the shadows need to be, I feel like it's really going to start becoming something worth looking at. In fact, well, yeah, we'll just keep doing that. I really don't like how this mountainside is all these different types of stone. And see, this is the thing is, when Dakier was doing this map, he was doing it in the old conquest method of texturing and everything. So, there's nothing he could have done. I mean, this was how everything was done back then. But yeah. It's just not something I'm going to go around and I'm going to fix everywhere. It's something that, we'll fix it every now and then. But yeah, I mean, quite honestly, this map is absolutely perfect. Like, literally, the only thing that I haven't been able to find yet is a place to put crime. I found a place to put Seabridge here. but I have not found an island chain yet or a set of rocks where I can put Crine. Because the whole idea with Crine is it's set on kind of like these pillars in the ocean. So I don't know, maybe I'll end up actually building the location myself. Like, I don't know, maybe, no, that wouldn't work there. It's supposed to be kind of like mountains in the background. I don't know. I just haven't decided where that can go yet. Yeah, sea stacks, exactly. And but like most of the other builds that I want to do, like any of the major builds that I want to do, I've already kind of like discovered locations for, and it's like, this world's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's see, what he specifically was doing for this world is designing places to build. Like, that was his whole idea behind this map, was building locations. And he did just a phenomenal job doing that. I'm so glad that he took the time to do this. You know, there's not many map makers, and this is not a rap on them or anything, but there's not a lot of map makers that are willing to go through this, the torture that's required to build a map this big. I tried making a 4,000 or a 4K map before, and just the amount of work that goes into just that it's insane. So I get it. I don't want to do this either. I wouldn't want to do this either. All right, Anno. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. It was really nice seeing you. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime in the near future. Probably next Wednesday. I don't think I'll be able. Well, maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday. We'll see. But in any case, have a great day. Or I'm sorry, have a great night. And I'll see you on the next one. But yeah, an avalanche would look really cool right there, I think. I don't really see, and this is another thing I want to avoid. I don't really want, other than the temple, I don't really want to build anything more up here. I really want to kind of like get this out of the way, and we need to keep moving. Because, you know, if we keep building up here, we're just going to keep building up here. It's just going to be one thing after another. It's going to be, we're going to build this. Oh, this is an empty spot. We can do that. And we need to do this. And we need to do that. And it's just, it would be a never-ending cycle of always finding different things to do. There's just a time where you have to say, you know, it's time to call it a wrap and move on. I just made extremely simplified. Then again, I'm lucky that there wasn't a need to make it look highly decorative. Yeah, and like, for example, Druss Raw, if I remember correct, Azrea of Delicia made a map for him that fit his world. I forget. Tirna Druss. And even that map, I don't know how big that is, but that's a big map. That takes a lot of patience to do that. I've always had a lot of respect for map makers that that put themselves through that amount of torture to build a map. Yikes. Yeah, I'm liking this. That stepped look, that's really going to benefit Heralia. I mean, that's the whole point behind this, is to really kind of like embolden. Like, you know how you take a font and you can do the different things. You can do cursive, you can bold it. So like basically what we're doing here is we are designing this into the quarry around, or designing this quarry around to bolden Heralia. Because right now she's just built into the mountain, right? But we're going to try to build her into the mountain in a way where she actually feels, you know, actually she's supposed to be there, more or less. No, yeah. I don't know. Did that make sense? I feel like that didn't make much sense. I feel like I failed my explanation. Somebody help me there. We're going to build another. And I really like kind of like following the natural curvature of the cliff or of the mountain instead of just building a static quarry. Like we're building like little sections of it here and there. And I think that in itself adds a nice little flavor. As long as you don't ask me to return to Tal Valoran. I'd appreciate that. Everyone's like, you know, I come back and I'm trying to do this big epic series. Guys, check this out. Legends of Duconia. We're going to have an awesome time. When are you going to go back to Tal Valoran? Are you serious? Love it. I'm such a detached individual when it comes to my old builds. Like literally I'm already detached from this statue. Like I love the statue. I built it. It's done. But that's it. Like I'm ready to move on. Let's just keep going. Now, you know, see, I don't know. Maybe this is different because this is more or less a quote unquote forever world. Maybe I will kind of psychologically treat this differently than I do my other builds. Because generally, whenever I build, it's always singular constructions. Crine was a singular construction. Lumiere was a singular construction. Seabridge, singular. Everything that I built was a singular construction. It was not combined to a world, was not connected to roads. So I think that by doing what we're doing right now, by building a world that is all kind of connected, I feel like that in itself is going to be the motivating factor for me to feel more attached to what I build. 6 projects at the same time. Yeah, no, we don't really got time for that. I'm sorry to break it to you there, Catherine. I have barely enough time to get my goals done for this episode as it is, because I'm going to be doing so basically, this is my conundrum right now. I have some things around my house that I need to get done. These Legends of Duconia episodes take me about 3 weeks to do. At least my last one took me 3 weeks, and I know this one's going to take me 3 weeks of like hardcore building. And so being able to crush that into the time frame that I have available, and then being able to do the responsibilities that I have outside of Minecraft, that's where I have to figure out how I'm going to balance. I have ideas how to make that happen. See, the thing is, right now I'm trying to do a video a week, and it's manageable. It's manageable. I still have time outside to do things. Like I can still spend time with my family. I still have time to, you know, go do things and, you know, be relatively present IRL, if you know what I'm saying. But, yeah, I need to figure out a way to even better manage that. Because, yeah, time is one of those things that can be very difficult to manage properly, especially when it comes to what I'm trying to do here with these episodes and the format that I'm trying to do. Because generally, what I'm trying to do lends itself towards time consuming. You know, it's just, that's all I do is I just build, progress. So inspire me for the next 2-week Minecraft phase. Lord Grand, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, the 2-week Minecraft phase. That's pretty generic. We all get that. See, for me, it's never been like if I could just build and like just build, right? I would do that. Like this is awesome. This is legitimately my passion. In fact, that's what the theme for this episode is. The title for this next episode is Pursuing Your Passion, Your Passions. And basically the theme of the episode is encouraging, a lot of us kind of like lose sight of ourselves. I know I do, where you lose sight of your individuality because you're so locked into the system of this drudgery, it's just like life. It's just like, it sucks you in. It wants to exhaust you so that you're just stuck in a cycle, right? Of consumption. Like it's just consuming without giving back. And that generally, your passions can generally be considered a way of giving back. At least that's kind of how I consider it, because, your passions have to be worked for. And generally, passions are something that they're productive. They are, what's the word I'm looking for? Passions are generally, other people look at your passions and they're like, wow, like that's inspiring. So yeah, passions are inspiring. Like, I don't know, let's use some examples here. My parents, their passion is gardening. They love to garden. They love to, my dad likes to do his vegetable garden. He has a huge vegetable garden. He takes really good care of it. They have a 9-acre property. They take really good care of it. My mom is big into flowers. She has all these different flower gardens throughout the property. She has one for butterflies to, for this type of caterpillar, for that type of bee, for this type of bird, for that, hummingbird garden. Anyways, long story short, they both are huge into making their property beautiful. That's their passion. And I'll tell you what, you show up to their property and you look around, it'll inspire you. Like, there's no way around it. You're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. Or like, for example, my brother, he's an engineer. He develops technology, safety systems specifically for a company. And his passion is engineering. His passion is coming up with technology and designing these systems. And he does really good at it. And that affects people, and it shows through his work that it is his passion, because he's one of the hardest working engineers you're going to find. I don't say this to be, pointedly, but according to my brother, who is a chief engineer, most engineers are lazy. They just don't do anything. They find any and every excuse to not work. That's not my brother. My brother is the type where he shows up to work, he's going to do the best he can, and he's going to get the job done. He's the one that's setting the example. Yeah, absolutely. My parents are huge into hummingbirds. They love hummingbirds. So that's his passion. My wife, she loves piano. Piano is, she's learned it throughout her childhood. And she is incredibly gifted at piano. She's played for our basically church throughout her entire life. And she's really, really good at piano. And we even have a baby grand piano. She loves playing that. And long story short, that's her passion. She loves the melodies of music. That's her passion. And she's able to share that passion with others. And it's inspiring. And it makes people, it gives people joy. Like, she'll play piano to, comfort herself sometimes. And she'll play piano to entertain people. She'll play piano to, for church. So long story short, your passions, they make you who you are. They develop you. They kind of mold you into somebody. Most of us, You see, this is an issue that I noticed with at my work, is a lot of the guys have just kind of given up on wanting to become better. They just want, they're just so exhausted with work that it's just like, this is their life. It's over. Just going to come in, do my job, and then that's it. I'm done. So that type of life, it doesn't lead anywhere, and you just kind of fall apart at your core. Whereas when you follow a passion, you have something that keeps you wanting to come back, that makes you want to show yourself as an individual, and make you make you push yourself beyond just, say, I don't know, going to work. Work is one thing, but then having a passion on the side. That's what really kind of molds you into a person. I don't. No. I actually manage the front end of a wood shop. That's what I do. I never really considered myself much of a customer. I don't like pickiness. I can't stand pickiness. Pickiness is not my cup of tea. I don't know if I would have the patience for customer service. Yeah, I work at we do fine architectural woodworking for, basically mansions. Everything we do is for, everything we do is in the Washington, D.C. area. We do, politicians' houses, CEOs' houses. We've done, basically, you can list off most of the big names that you know, and we've probably done work for their house. We've been in the business for, at least the shop I work for has been in the business for 40-something years, 42 years now. And I've been there almost, 9 now. It's my 9th anniversary next month. And it's a good place to work. There's a lot of issues. Every place has its issues, and there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of things that I wish I could change about it, but it is what it is. But anyways, yeah. That's what I do. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to have one coming down this way, and we're going to have, let's see, we should have one coming here around this side. And then that's going to step down to here, and then we're going to have another one kind of coming down along the bottom. When you have people expecting you to come back to play with them, it's easier for me to win to play solo, and I apply that logic to most things I care about. I know it's slightly. Well, see, that's how I always treated this as well. But I think doing this is my connection. So I guess it's the same thing. See, I just started a series. I don't know if you've watched it or not, so I'm not going to assume. But I just started a series called Legends of Duconia. And so now, when you start something like that, there's a pretty high expectation that you continue. And so that's my motivating factor to keep going. And I'm the same way. When people expect you, it is a huge motivational factor to make progress and to be there and to show up. So I get that. So if you're looking for Conquest, right now, the only grounded server that is currently available for Conquest is Artacraft. They do have a plot world. I did make a video showcasing their plot world. So if you're interested on joining them and you want to figure that out, you can watch that video. I do tell you how. but yeah, that's a great community to go be a part of. Artcraft has a vast group of excellent builders to learn from and to be a part of a community with. And I think that's like one of the biggest things about the Conquest community is being a part of a community of a bunch of like really epic builders, seeing what they do and kind of growing. Because oh my, like you go through the Artcraft, I mean just the server in general, but if you go through even the plot world, just for, I don't know, just fly around for 5 minutes and you're gonna see techniques and examples of things that will just blow your mind. And you're just like, it blows my mind every time I go through the amount of patience that it requires to do some of these techniques. There's certain things that I'm not gonna do. I'm just not. Like there's, for example, these vaulted ceilings with just incredibly complex techniques that look absolutely phenomenal. But again, it goes back to like there's a type of builder I am, and I'm not that type of builder. But wow, the people that are that type of builder and that design those things and build such incredibly detailed and interesting stuff, like hats off. You guys nailed it. And then, it's like inspiring, because then you're like, I want to be a part of that community too. And then years after being in that community, next thing you know, you're like one of the best. And it just takes time. It's just like learning the different things. But like you can become equally as good at, I don't know, creating something in Blender, right? 3D modeling elsewhere. And you can learn other tangible skills anywhere. And, you just paint, for example. The reason why I've always kind of chosen Minecraft as a medium is because I can explore the art. Like, I've always considered what I built as art. Like, it's a canvas. Like, I'm painting. But I can walk through it. I can explore it. Like, I can tangibly see what I've painted. And now I'm able to share it in a way where it feels like it's so dynamic. Like, for example, if I were to build on Enshrouded is a fantastic game, has awesome aspects to it. I love the game. But the building system is nowhere near as dynamic as Conquest Reforged is. Hytale is awesome. But the building is not anywhere near as dynamic, at least not currently, as Conquest Reforged is. I've always built in Conquest. I mean, this has been me for 14 years. I've been doing this. And so, I mean, that in itself kind of shows kind of what it means to me. It's kind of, it's more than just a game. It's the community. There's like a purpose behind it. And being here with you guys and doing this is what actually makes it kind of like worth it to keep doing this. Conquest very light, yes. I mean, there is the possibility that Conquest may port to Hytale and create a texture pack for Hytale. But the last time I was informed, there were some technical issues behind it. And those technical issues need to first be ironed out before Conquest will consider continuing with that possibility. Excuse me. All right, well, let's see here. I think we're going to probably start going down this away. And then we're going to start digging away there. Beautiful. But yeah, Hytale's a great game. Enshrouded's a great game. Love them both. But both just do not have this. And I say that with the greatest respect to their developers, because their developers did incredible jobs with their respective games. Absolutely. I have no complaints about the games themselves. I have no complaints about the building systems either. I mean, fantastic building systems. Yeah, there's a lot to do. Obviously, Hytale being early stage. And I was over there for a while. I was building on there until kept dealing. I was building with a group. Not with, you know, they were building other things, but I was building my own thing. And they kept pranking me. I was like, come on, guys, can I just log on for once and not be bothered, you know? Just want to get on and build. So there's a reason why I'm on single player now. Anyways, yeah, so the fun thing about Hytale is the adventuring. There's a lot of dynamic around the adventuring aspect. You know, you build a little bit and then you can go out adventuring and explore things. And they do make exploring a little bit more interesting because there is things that are very rare and it kind of encourages you to explore. But the downside is, okay, so exploring in Hytale is a lot of fun, and I mean a lot of fun, until you're on a server, because then everybody else has already explored everything. And, well, not everything, but it just becomes harder and harder to find areas that have not been discovered already. I mean, there's ways around that. You know, you use the portals and you can just, you know, keep going off into the distance and, you know, do your thing. But still, that can become challenging to keep doing that because of, yeah, reasons. All right, so we're going to start actually significantly pushing this down here. Yeah, like that. And we're going to continue that going around like so. This needs to come down to... We'll see. There we go. But man, I also really enjoyed Enshrouded. I have a great Enshrouded playthrough going. I built a lot of stuff there, and also I was playing with somebody else as well. We were building in his world, and we were building a small town, and that was a lot of fun. It's just the building mechanics of Enshrouded are not as dynamic as this game is, or at least Conquest Reforged. Well, just Minecraft in general. There's just something about this style of building that's just, it's more personal. It's more, yeah, it's just, it feels more like you. You know, I can make something more my style using this than I can with, like, I can make something, like, more unique here than I can in Enshrouded, because Enshrouded is kind of, you only have so much you can do. You have only so many interior blocks you can use. You only have so many. Do you get what I'm saying? No, this, oh, actually it might there, Lord Gron. I'll have to look back on my Lumiere episode. If it's representing the 8 gods of the Duconian Empire, then yes. You have Xanthos, the Lord Protector, Bentis the Merchant, Heralia the Mountain, Laris the Maiden, Otar the Warrior, Oduna the Shadow, Shorefist the Reaper, and there's one more. Victorum the Kraken. And they all represent good traits. Like, Heralia is hope. Hope and inspiration. Laris the Maiden is representative of life and abundance. Xanthos, the Protector, they pray to him for, protection. Oduna, the Warrior, they pray to him for, victory in battle and, good fortune there. And then there would be, what else would there be? Like Victorum the Kraken would be like for the sea, obviously. Anyways, you get the idea, right? I do really like this, how we got this. We're going to have like this sort of double layer of quarry going all the way around the mountain. We might even add one more. We'll see. We'll see. There's plenty of room for it, so I think we'll be able to. Like, even right here feels like we should do something right there, but I don't have any way of, like, really connecting it and making it look decent. I guess there is right here. And what we could do is we could technically knock a hole right here and then lead it down to here, so that there's another kind of like way to get up there. Honestly, I think that's a good idea. We're gonna go ahead and knock a route right here, and then that's gonna go down to there. Yeah, I really like this sort of like all these different ways of moving around this quarry. It just makes it look more interesting. So, okay, the antagonist is Chaos. So Chaos is not represented by a person. Chaos is represented as an entity. It is a opening to a realm that seeks nothing but destruction. Nothing but the leeching of life, the removal of anything good. Like, that's what Chaos is. It's basically the Warhammer lore, I guess. I don't know much about the Warhammer lore, but there's the whole thing about Chaos as well. But they represent Chaos with the what do you call them? The daemons or something, whatever. There are like the Chaos gods, and that's not what I'm doing. Chaos is its own thing. It's its own entity, and what we're doing in this world is, the celestial realm is inhabited by two forms. You have Aether and Hexus. And if I remember correctly, I think it's Aether. I think it was Aether that separated into the 8. So it's like 8 parts of Aether that turned into Heralia and all the different representations that we have here of the different good things. Does that make sense? I don't know if I described that the way I should have. I'm terrible at remembering these things and relaying them properly. The portal that I come through, so that's more of a metaphorical representation of me versus being an actual lore point of the world. The idea of that is, so you'll notice that it looks kind of corrupted and evil. So look back in your past, and you've made mistakes, right? So how would you represent something in a build to kind of represent your past? And so what I decided to do was to make it look like that portal, to make it look like I'm stepping through from my past, and now I'm pushing forward into my future. So it's not, the portal itself is not necessarily a lore point. I mean, I guess we could tie it into the world somehow, but yeah, the portal is more about my story than it is about this world. I mean, this world is my story in a way. So you could basically, in a metaphorical, artistic sense, tie what I just explained that into the world itself, if you kind of like bend your mind a little bit to think about it. I'm building artistically is the goal here. It's all like, imagine everything I'm doing as it's not necessarily, you know, not abstract art. I'm trying to do everything with meaning. I'm trying to have layers of meaning here. A giant eagle's nest. Oh, Isaac, that is such a good idea. Oh, and that would be super easy to do too. Oh, and I would love to make an eagle. Where could I do that? We're going to figure that out. That is a great idea, Isaac. Absolutely. I need to somehow remember that, though. I can't do that right now. But I need to make an eagle's nest. Absolutely. I made an eagle before, so I have an idea how I want to do it. But yeah, that is such a good idea. I'm loving doing the organics here. Stuck in, so creation of this world is your therapy. This could be fascinating lore. No, I have like tidbits of my lore across many documents. None of it's really like in any type of format that's worth reading. It's all little pieces. And so basically the lore is just in my head right now. So I have some maybe half readable stuff, but I'd have to really go look for it. The majority of what I have is just from memory and from like, you know, this is like what, 13 years of lore writing and thinking about it and whatnot. Well, I don't want the eagle's nest to be anywhere where the pilgrims are going to be, so I have to figure out, like, maybe down there would be okay. I don't want there to be an eagle's nest anywhere near where the pilgrims are congregating, because this is all going to be a very populated region. You know, they're walking all over this place. Because if there was an eagle's nest, you know, in a very populated place, they'd send the Legion in to take care of it. Either that or it's a friendly eagle. I don't know. I mean, that would be kind of silly to think that it's a friendly eagle. But maybe what we could do is we could do your eagle nest idea, Isaac, but instead of putting it here, we could put it on another mountain range somewhere, somehow tie it into the video, and just kind of put it somewhere random, so that way it's not in an unsensible region. Because I feel like an eagle, a giant eagle, would be preying on unsuspecting travelers. Like, does that make sense to you? I mean, giant eagles are just going after anything that they can eat, right? Well, the other side is going to be quarry like this as well. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it's more... to me, it would probably make more sense that it's just on another mountain somewhere. Because this is a very... like I said, this is a very populated region up here. I mean, just imagine there's probably 100 people up here at any given time. There's probably like, I don't know, 20 up here on that platform. There's going to be multiple over at the temple. There's going to be people walking all over this quarry section, walking around, coming up the mountain, you know, coming up the path. All sorts of activity going on. So whatever we build needs to make sense that it wouldn't be destroyed. Because, you know, we put a giant eagle up here, it's going to be like, you know, if it were a wyvern, it would be quickly taken care of. It would not be something that would be tolerated. You know, as an empire, it's a very... the empire is, you know, very militarily sound. There's no chaos in the ranks. There's no, you know, no part of the realm is just let go to the wild. I mean, you have legionary patrols walking this Imperial Road constantly. Like, if you were to stand up here and you were to watch the Imperial Road, you'd have probably, like, cohorts of, like, 50 legionnaires walking on that road probably once a day at least. A trebuchet. We are definitely going to be building some trebuchets, Meso. Not here, but soon. Soon. I will not let you down. I promise. I've been letting you down on trebuchets since, I think, Crine, if I remember correctly. Was it crying when you first suggested trebuchets, Meso? That was a long time ago. Landslide. Yeah, well, I mean, it's all going to look like it's held up really well. So, you know, once I'm done with it, it's going to take me a while to really kind of pull this all together. But we'll get there. Just got to trust the process and hope for the best. It was crying. Yes. Meso, I remember most things, especially when it comes to people that have made a big difference in my journey. And you're one of those. And so, I remember a lot of things about our past. At least I try to. So at some point you noticed the pattern. It was funny. Yes. Always remember these things. I always honor and show respect to those that have stuck with me as long as you have been a part of this journey. So we are most certainly going to build trebuchets down the road. In fact, I think this would be a great idea. We'll build the towers of Queensdale so that we can fit trebuchets on top. On a gate of some sorts. Yeah. So I'm trying to, I mean, obviously we have a long way till we're there. I mean, this is probably going to be, I don't know. It's going to be a while till we get to Queensdale. But when we do, we are going to build some pretty awesome stuff there. And we got to decide on like the size. It's not going to be anywhere close to the style that we were building on King of Light server. It'll be far more. So, you know, like Django's Belferon, and you know, you got those giant towers with the trebuchets on top. Maybe we can come up with like a unique fantasy style for Queensdale and then build our own towers that are similar to that. And then build our own kind of crazy fantasy city like that. Nowadays, I'm more invested in apple orchards. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we're going to build apple orchards too. That's another thing that will be... another thing that's going to be in our world as we progress. Speaking of which, I do... See, this is another thing I really want to do with this series, is I want to build a build in honor of every Duconian. So, like, you know, it's just not something huge, not like a town or anything, but just like something specifically that relates to them. And we'll get to that eventually. Just take up space if you have big game, dragons, griffins, giants, trolls, this is more valuable. Kingdoms of Darwinia. Kingdoms of Darwin. No, Kingdoms of Light was Queensdale. Queensdale was Kingdoms of Light. That was King of Light server, remember? Oh, that's going to look so nice. I like that a lot. Very nice. All right, and then I think what we're going to do here... Let's see. I would like to meet up there. Can we do this? Do we have enough space? And then I would like to come down and around like this. Yes. All right. Oh, this is going to look so nice. So we come down, up. We have like this little junction. Let's see if we can do this junction correctly. We build a ship as our base. Yes, yes. Oh, I see. Kingdoms of... We had a golden apple tree at some point. Oh, I see. With factions. Yes. I remember Darwinia. Yes. I thought you were mentioning we built Queensdale on Kingdoms of Darwinia. I was just saying we didn't. That was Kingdoms of Light. So I misunderstood. I thought that's what you were talking about. So no, it's something about the ship. Yes. We definitely built the ship on... Yeah, we built the ship there. All right, we're going to have to build this back a little bit. There we go. So the question is, can we make this fit? I would love to know. I almost feel like we need to put another section of the quarry down there. Maybe remove this bit. There we go. We're just going to build up the cliff a little bit just to meet that a little bit better. There we go. I was really excited for this style because it wasn't medieval. It was sad that we never got to the point of actually putting it in the landscape. Yes, yes, yes. But hey, we can look forward to the future. That would be awesome, Spearman. I would be honored. We would be honored. Be an isolated praying place with maybe one month taking care of it, relying on pilgrims to bring wood and necessities to maintain the beacon. Now you are building Mason Guild around it. So no, the quarry was to build the statue. That's what all this is for. So basically, I'm designing the mountainside to look like that this is where the stone for the statue was quarried from. But yes. So basically, you know, there's only so much I can do each episode, right? And so I knew I wanted to do this, but I just knew I didn't have the time for my last episode. And so now I'm doing it for this episode. And so that's kind of how this series is going to work. I'm going to do as much as I can for each episode. And then hopefully be able to achieve my goals. And if I'm not, then I'm going to have to just add it on to the next episode. Fancy mix of Moroccan and Asian. I don't remember what the style was. I'd have to look back at those streams. I remember I did quite a few live streams of that style. I do remember I liked it, though. I do remember I really was enjoying that style. But I don't remember what it was. See, I'm always for trying new things. I'm the same way with food. I love different food. I like to try different food, just different things. Something I'm trying to teach my boys is to eat different things and to not be scared of it. Yeah, I'm sure we do have some screenshots. This is Imperial build, yes. The Empire took over the world, and then they expanded and then built many, many great wonders throughout the world, and this is one of them. Oh. Well, I don't remember that. I don't remember the curved roof being an upward slope. I'll have to look at the streams. Yeah, I don't remember specifically. I do remember that Saltheart had a style for his giant house. But yeah, I'm super excited. Like, I also want to do giants in this world, so I'm gonna obviously honor Saltheart with that. cat keeps jumping up. All right. Yeah, that's going to make this look a whole lot better. And then we need to design this. Yeah. Are you guys able to hear my cat meowing in the background? So that's something I gotta figure out. So I want everything to be positive, but obviously with lore, you gotta have some negative in there. Like I want, like in my mind, I want everyone to be in a utopia, but the Draconians conquered everything, right? That's why there's a Trapian down there. That's why there's the Imperial Road. That's why there's a giant statue up here. It's a sign of authority over the peoples of this world. So obviously, there's something about the Draconian Empire that's not so positive. So I have to figure that out. I have not developed that side of my lore yet. But I personally, like, the way I like to build and the way that I like to design things is that people are happy, that the inhabitants, that, you know, maybe they didn't like it at first, but now that they've joined the Draconian Empire, they've learned the ways of the Draconians. The Draconians are very culturally accepting. It's not like, you know, they come in and say, you can't do this anymore, you have to do what we want you to do. Obviously, they have, you know, the imperial gods, you know, the Nords. I haven't come up with an official name for them yet, but they have, for example, their draconic figure that they worship, and so, you know, that's separate from the Celestials that the Empire worships. So their idea is that the draconic amalgamation, is that the word? Mutation, whatever it is, that it was able to go to where they are. And so that's why it's kind of like a quote-unquote added into the lore. And there's going to be more stuff like that throughout the world. Different cultures do their own thing. And so, you know, obviously you're going to have the main, which is going to be these 8 represented in gigantic statues across the world. And then you're going to have, like, the mini gods, which is technically, like, theirs. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense here? All right, so we gotta build these things to be gigantic. But yeah, developing lore has always been not necessarily my strong point. So what I try to do is I try to focus it more on my story. Like, when I say my story, like, basically this whole series is based off of my 13 years of being in this community and the people that I've met. Like, that's what this whole story is based on. Like, basically sharing my experiences in, like, an artistic form, more or less, and trying to explain what I've learned the process that it took to grow to where I'm at now, and you know, as a person, as a human being, not necessarily as a builder, but just growing. And then I try to tie it into whatever I'm building. I'm tired of working at stone after this. Hey, it's the finished product that we're working towards. Once we get this done, it's gonna look pretty fun. The texturing is gonna be that's what's gonna make this. Right now it looks pretty bland. The texturing, well, I guess the shaping too. You know, once we layer everything and get it all squared away, we still got several steps ahead of us before we can call this anywhere close to being done. But yeah, once it is done, I'm looking forward to that. Let's see, it is 7:44. I'll stream for another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll call it a night. But I mean, we've gotten a good bit done so far. I mean, this is looking a whole lot better than what it was. The whole point of this is to actually make it look like the mountain is, you know, before without the quarry, the statue feels exposed. It just feels like it doesn't belong. But once we build this quarry in, the whole point of that is to blend the mountain into the statue. I'm sure you could fit a small shrine for the pagan locals so they can pay. Well, not here. They wouldn't do it here. They would do it elsewhere. We'll have their own quote unquote shrine elsewhere. But yeah, absolutely. They're going to have their own thing somewhere. Because remember, I mean, we got 8 more of these. I mean, we're going to have gigantic, this size statues throughout this world. You're going to be standing here, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, there's Laris. Laris is going to be in the jungle somewhere. Xanthos is going to be over there. I don't know exactly where. Let's see. He's going to be built over Queensdale. So Queensdale is going to be right here. So he'll probably be right there. Well, I don't know yet. He's going to be in one of these mountains here. I'll have to find where the best one is. Preferably the tallest mountain. Whichever one of these is the tallest mountain. He's just, basically, it's just going to be this giant cutout of the mountain. And then it's going to be him sitting on a throne there. Lord Gron, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I am having issues with my Twitch right now. It is not working properly. I apologize that your notification didn't come up, but I just saw that in chat there. And I also noticed that chat doesn't seem to be working. Let me see if I can get chat to work. Has chat worked at all this stream, guys? I'm gonna check now. I gotta wait for one of you to actually say something. It's supposed to show on the bottom left of the screen there. That's more or less for if someone watches the VOD to be able to look at, you know, what the reactions are, what people said and everything. Okay, it did work. It did work. Okay, good. Yeah, when I first started streaming, like I basically had to tick and untick all of the different Streamlabs settings in order for them to work. They were all shut off for some reason. I don't understand why that would happen. I don't think that's a Twitch issue. I think that's a Streamlabs issue. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna look great. I guess one thing we could do, I feel like this needs to come down more. We need more of a slope here. So I'll knock some of this out, knock some of that out. This is going to be a dead end. I feel like we should put something on this dead end here. It's not going to be now. I'm not going to do it now. I'm just saying right here would be a great spot for something. And don't suggest an eagle's nest. That's not a great spot for an eagle's nest. That's a great spot for something where the pilgrims would visit. Because the whole idea is that these paths around the statue, that they walk around them. And it's kind of like an extra way of kind of, you know, it's on their pilgrimage, more or less. It's just part of what they do. In fact, what I could do is even connect it up to here. So, like, I could bring it up to here in front of her foot and then connect it in right there. That could be a really neat way of keeping things organically moving through here. All right, and I think what we're going to do is go ahead and knock this path in around here. I feel like we should connect it, though, right there. So we need to knock that out like so. Now it gets really steep, so now it's getting kind of important to connect this here. Because if we don't connect that, we're going to lose any opportunity to do it later. So we're going to go ahead and connect that now. These little connections are what's going to really make all of this kind of like come together. Because once you step back and look at this, if it's all just flat, like you just have two completely separate paths and there's no connections, it's going to look rather boring. But if you have all the different connections of the different levels, it'll make it all feel very organic and flowing. And it also makes it look like a quarry. Because generally, quarries have a lot of the different connecting paths and whatnot. All right, hey, Spearmint, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate you being here tonight. Have a good night. I'll see you around. All right, we're going to go ahead and knock that this way. And then this one needs to start kind of coming up a little bit quicker. Has the plagues describing the history of the place by parts as you walk up. So something like, oh, plaques. Maybe some verses of prayers. That's what I was thinking, is on some of these have inscriptions. I think we do have schist. We have a lot of decorative shifts. Okay, yeah, good. We have runes that we can use. But yes, that is what I was thinking too, is some sort of like utilizing these paths to create some sort of like shrines and just places as you walk around. Just, it makes it worthwhile. You know, that's the whole point of this, is to design some sort of pilgrimage walk or something. The biggest reason behind any of this, though, is just so that you have something a little bit more interesting to look at than just a statue. By doing this, and when you're down there looking up and you see all the different, like, you know, the tiers, it's gonna just make this place pop. And that's what I'm really excited about, is bringing this all together later on. All right, here's that.
Where's rubbing your chair?
Yes, he is. English is not. Yeah. I get that. You know, honestly, I have a lot of respect for multilingual people. I'm not multilingual myself, so being able to speak multiple languages, I can't imagine the pressure that's on some of you. But most of you are like that. Like, for example, I know Meso, she's German, so she'd have to learn. Sir Isaac, you're American, so you have English as your main language, I would imagine. I mean, I guess I don't want to assume, but yeah, so multilingual people, it's pretty awesome to be able to speak multiple languages. Pretty crazy. From my perspective, at least. That's a lot more, that's a lot to learn. But you have my respect to attempt that.
This one thing. Where's the aggression?
Hold on. All right, I'm back. All right. Do any of you have issues with your sinuses? I always have. I wouldn't say always, but I've had issues with my sinus for years. It's just constant breathing issues. I know, I'm fairly certain I have a deviated septum. I know there's fixes for that, but I just don't want to go through that whole procedure of getting it cut open and having to go through just that process. So I've been putting up with it, but still frustrating. Biome issues? World Edit, Voxel Sniper, Rematch, and both have biome. Wait, are we talking about biomes? We have a high alert for high fever and sinus issues all this week in UK. Oh, wow. Yeah, and also it doesn't help, seeing as I work at a wood shop. Very dusty. We do have a very good dust collection system, and it is... You know, it does the job for the most part, but I mean, there's only so much you can do when you have 30 people milling lumber and making whatever they're making, and then you got all that dust in the air. Sinus issues. I'm fighting sinus issues. I'm sorry, Kaiser. That's funny. I was like, biomes. Biome issues. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're funny. That's great. You made my night. You had me confused there. A small cabin like some basic opportunist unlicensed gift shop. Someone pestering the pilgrims. Honestly, yeah, I was thinking about doing something like that down there. Is some sort of like, I don't know, shack or something. Not a shack, but like a... something that kind of like indicates this is the beginning. This is where you start your pilgrimage up the mountain from. So yeah, I definitely want to do something like that as we progress. Hey, Jacqueline, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. We are doing the quarry at the foot of Heralia right now. So basically I wanted to indicate the stone that was carved away in order to build the statue. And so all the way around the mountain at her feet is going to be this sort of like multi-tiered, in and out designed quarry, more or less. And then we're going to utilize it for religious purposes by designing it so that it looks like it's like not only a quarry, but also that it's carved. I was somehow confusing you with... You were confusing me with Wrecked? No, Wrecked is a chill dude. He's all chill. I'm not chill. Am I chill? I'm definitely not as chill as Rect. Rect is like the embodiment, the prime example, yeah, he's the chill guy. He sounds so perky, like, huh, Rect not so tired today. Yeah, well, Rect always sounds like he's like just about to fall over. He's like, yeah. I don't know. I couldn't impersonate him even if I tried. I'm a dad too. I got 3 kids. In fact, I got one with me right now. Say hi, Andrew.
Hi.
There you go. He's my 7-year-old. You need to DM me. Okay. Was this that that medieval life video you were talking about? I was looking for it. I thought you were gonna send it to me on Discord or something. Yeah. I didn't see it nowhere. See, I remember these things, Jacqueline. I sent it to Rad. He's like, who the heck? What the? That's funny. Oh, I love it. It's like, what's this? Like, all right, well, thanks. Man, so Kaiser just made my night by thinking that I said biomes instead of sinus. And now you just made my night, confusing me with Rect. That's awesome. Man, I'm honored. I'm honored. That is quite the compliment right there. Duke on Rect. Fantastic. Thank you, Jacqueline. I'll check that out once I'm not streaming. I appreciate that. I'm always on the lookout for something that I can draw inspiration from. Oh, thank you for that. Welcome in. I want to try to find ways to bring more life to the server. I try to, I say things every now and then. Obviously, so there's 2 sides of it. I do have a deeper section where I keep pretty much consistent updates of my builds, of what I'm doing over there. But I'm going to be honest. The deeper section is probably the most unresponsive section of the server. So I was like, why am I even posting in here? Anyways, yeah, I think what I might do is start actually just posting my progress shots on just the normal Discord channels, just to try to get some more life in there. Like to draw on influence from real life history. Yes. So, what kind of art do you do? Do you actually, like, I have a huge respect for artists. In fact, there's an artist, Tarago, who's redoing all of the art in my channel right now. What a gift to be able to draw and paint and bring to life something. Like, for example, I made a document kind of like saying, this is what I want for this specific thing. I want this detail there, this detail there, that detail there, put 2 dragons either. Anyways, I asked her to make something for me and she did this. I mean, and it's like pretty much perfect to what I asked for her to do. I mean, it's just, yeah. That's the coat of arms for our series. But yeah, it's just amazing. I can draw in 2D, but I don't like doing it. I got you. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I just... anything that involves custom creating, that's where my heart's at. I love seeing people create stuff. Honestly, I think that's like one of the largest or the best definitions of a human being is their capacity to create. And I love seeing it. In fact, like today I went to I was at the mall with my brother, and we went to a craft store where they have all these different setups of local artists setting up like different things. Like, you know, some people made like baby clothes. Somebody made butcher boards. You know, like what do you call them? Not butcher boards. Meat cutting boards, or just cutting boards. Some people made like wall arts out of, you know, different wood stuff, or just different like little figurines out of wood. Some people made paintings. It just fascinates me. I love seeing stuff like that. Whenever there's custom made things, and it just inspires. People like seeing stuff that, you know, took somebody else time, but most importantly is an expression of their passion. And yeah, that's what really makes these kind of things worthwhile, is the expression of that passion. I can't wait to texture all this. I'm going to be doing a lot of that mossy stuff through here too. I didn't put much of the mossy on Heralia. Maybe I should have. I don't know. I just feel like it looks better without. I did a little bit here and there, I think, but not much. All right, and we're going to go ahead and dig this back into here. We're going to knock it through there. Nice. And then... so now that it's so steep, I don't really think there's any way for me to get this back up. So we're just going to have to figure out this route. But I don't want it to be completely parallel, so we're going to have to be careful about how we design this. I think that what we could do is maybe make one a little bit lower, so make a third tier in here, and then that one can kind of go around as well. I just feel like it'll get pretty boring if it's just 2 tiers the whole way. So we'll have the one up here, which is going to end right there. We're going to have this one, which is going to kind of come up, and then we're going to have this one that's going to go all the way along to there, and we'll have another one connecting down, and we're going to have another one kind of coming up that way. But yeah, this is turning out pretty good. Could you give me a close-up on the statue upper torso? I'm trying to build something similar. Okay, sure. In fact, I'm about to end, so let me just go ahead and save this recording. There we go. All right, so yeah, we're going to do a quick little look-see around. Time set 1,000. So basically, I mean, just want... yeah, I don't want to be too forward with it, but I wanted it to be noticeable. We'll just say it that way. So basically, you know, you got your neckline, you indicate where the bust is, and then obviously then we're going natural from there. So that's why I kind of added a little bit of a hang in there. And then of course you got the stomach. And then the legs are more or less... I feel like I should have indicated a bend in the knee. But I'm just not quite sure how I would have done that. I feel like maybe the bend in the knee should have been here. Hey, Lord Grand, that's a completely natural thing to do. You know, we are I'm assuming you are the same as I am, and we are the way we are. It's just the way we are. Primordial dragons under projects. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and step back and look at this. So you guys are starting to see my plan unfolding. The texturing is going to make a big difference. The detailing is going to make a big difference. But now you can see the mountain is shaping up to the statue. And that's going to make such a difference. Jacqueline, 100%. Thanks, Twitch, right? But yeah, so what I'm going to plan on doing, let's see, tomorrow night, I don't think I'm going to be streaming probably till Sunday. I'll probably stream on Sunday. But I'll probably try to at least get the basic outline of the quarry done by the next stream. And I'll probably already have been started on the detailing. But yeah, we're almost there. And then I got to start on the temple, which is going to be right here. It's going to start out low, and it's going to kind of like swoop up. And then the top of the roof is going to kind of like meet up to here. And there's going to be like a pillared exterior with an open porch and whatnot. Yeah, something like that, Lord Grand. Something like that. So. But yeah, in any case, I'm going to say that's probably good for tonight. We got a good bit done. That's a great start to episode 2. And we are going to get a lot more done down the road. Yeah, and I also need to get this little pond down here done. And I guess I need to somehow indicate, like, where the water flows. So, like, some sort of, like, little stream or something. I'm not going to make it the stream. I'm just going to make, like, a dry flow path or something. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, even from this angle here, it looks a lot better than what was there before. I'm a lot happier with that. So, yeah, that being said, you all have a great day. Have a great night. I'll see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye.